Hey Beauts, welcome back to Pretty Scary, the channel that brings you easy to follow, budget-friendly makeup tutorials that you can recreate at home. Happy nearly Christmas, Beauts! And today, here is the first of my Christmas makeup looks. So, we are going for the Ghosts of Christmas Past, Present and Future from Scrooge. And here is the first one, the Ghost of Christmas Past. If you would like to know how to recreate this look, then keep watching. Now, those of you who regularly watch my videos will know that I normally do a little wave and a smile at the start. Well, this time I had recorded it, but I looked like a goon, so I edited it out. Anyway, starting off with Snazaroo Clown White, I am putting a blob onto my hands, rubbing it in and then pressing it onto my face. I got this technique from another YouTuber whose name escapes me at the moment, but I shall link her video down below because I wanted a more opaque white look rather than the more translucent white base that I normally go for. So just press it into your skin, pat it in, and use a brush to get into the more fiddly areas like your ears and around your eyes. And Bob's your uncle. If you need to blend a little bit more, then feel free to use a sponge, a dry sponge, not a damp sponge. And yeah, that is the best way to get a nice opaque white. So I did it all over my face and also all over any areas of exposed skin on my body. Not forgetting those ears. By patting the paint in, you're creating a nice even base rather than smearing it around all over your face, which is not really what you want to be doing. As this is a cream makeup, you will of course want to set this, otherwise it will smudge all over the place because it doesn't dry in the same way as a white face paint would. So just go over it with a colourless powder. Done this, just pat the skin to check that it's not sticky, and if it's not, then you know that it's perfectly set. Now going in with a bright pink blusher, I'm using this one by Barry M, and I'm just applying the blusher very high on my cheekbones first of all, almost going up to the sides of my eyes, and then also on my nose and my chin, and on my shoulders and in the centre of my chest. Using this kind of neutrally browny shade, I'm just starting to shade around the eyes. Now the inspiration for the eyes came from pictures of ball jointed dolls. So if you Google ball jointed dolls, you'll see where I got the kind of look that I'm going for here. So what you're wanting to create is a nice rounded eye shape. So I'm just accentuating the socket line and going down slightly onto the nose contour as well, and then just really blending that well, and also going under the eye with the same shade. The shading under the eye is lower than my natural lash line, and you will see why in a little while. Now going in with some deeper tones, I'm using a deep grey and a deep burgundy colour and a small fluffy brush, and then just deepening up that eyeshadow. So basically you're wanting to create like a halo effect, so you go almost around your eyeball on your socket line, as you can see here, starting at the inner corner and going to the outer corner. Make sure you blend every single shade extremely well. Also blending underneath the eye on that fake lower lash line too. I'm also using a white eyeshadow to make sure that the shadows look perfectly blended at this stage. It creates a nice subtle transition if you go over with some white. Using a really dark charcoal grey just to really deepen up that socket line. Then using a flat brush, I'm just darkening up that lower lash line. Basically what you're doing here is creating a fake lower lash line to make your eyes look bigger. You will be filling in the space between the fake lower lash line and the real lash line with white at a later point to give that illusion. Now using a smaller smudging brush, I'm just going in with that darker colour on the outer edges just to really emphasise this area and to build the illusion of these big doll eyes. I then just emphasise my brows a little bit with that same deep charcoal shade, and then just blended that out a little to soften the look. Going back to that burgundy shade, I'm just deepening up the colour on the end of the nose and also just stippling it around the outer edges of my eyes. Although I wanted this kind of big ball jointed doll eye, I also wanted it to look kind of a little bit grungy because this is a ghost after all and she's been floating around for centuries, so yeah, she's a little bit grungy. So just using that colour also on the other areas that I shaded earlier and also under the eye. I almost wanted to make her look a little bit kind of sad and pensive, and yeah. I then wanted to just warm this area up, so I went over with some more of that blusher from earlier. This kind of gives her a look of being kind of out in the cold, but you know when you're out in the cold and your nose goes a little bit red and your cheeks are a bit flush and rosy. I kind of wanted that effect. Now to create that fake lower lash line, and in with some white NYX Milk Jumbo pencil, and then just going over that with some NYX White Liquid liner just to intensify that white. You will find this catches on your eyelashes, don't worry too much about that because we will be having white eyelashes anyway. I also just deepened up the fake lower lash line a little bit more after I put that white on, and then taking Yves Saint Laurent black waterproof kohl liner. This is one of the blackest eyeliners I've ever used. It is brilliant, and I'm using that to deepen up that lower lash line even more. I'm doing it very messily because I wanted that kind of grungy look, and I'm also going over the upper lash line in exactly the same way. Again, quite messy and grungy. You don't want a precise, nice line here. I went over that with some dark smudgy black smoky eyeshadow. Couldn't think what it was called then for a minute. Yeah, so I just smudged over it with that. Now you will notice that I go off shot a few times during this tutorial. I do apologise. Can't seem to get it right when I'm zoomed in, but hey. Anyway, so I curled my lashes and then went onto my lips while the glue on my false eyelashes was drying. So I just used this nice deep rosy pinky blushy coloured lip liner, and I lined around the cupid's bow and the lower lip, and then I just smudged that with a flat brush just to create a nice smudgy smoky effect. And then taking this berry colour, I then coloured that on the inside of my lips and then smudged that outwards. You almost want to make it look like you've been eating raspberries and it's kind of stained the inner part of your lips. And And then using NYX Cherry Skies liquid lipstick. I use this a lot in my tutorials just to intensify that deeper shade. So again, if you look at ball jointed dolls, you will see where I got the inspiration for this. And then I've put on my false eyelashes, as you can see, and I'm going over those with that white liquid liner to give a nice frosty effect. You can see this really brings the look together, and I'm using the same on my eyebrows just to tie those in. And then just putting a dot on the inner corners because I just felt like it needed something more. So here is the finished look. I just applied a grey wig and kind of braided it in with my own hair, pinned in some pearl necklaces and a big flower, and you are done. So I really hope you liked this first Christmas tutorial of mine. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button below. It would really help my channel. It really helps me to show up in the searches and to grow. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button too, because I have the Ghost of Christmas Present and the Ghost of Christmas Past coming up. All that remains for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye.